Hey guys, the next speaker I want to introduce is Jimena Cortez. She's an expert on LinkedIn marketing, and she found that you can actually get a lot of business through LinkedIn. She's got some great ideas on how to mine prospects and things like that. So here we go, enjoy.
All right, we got it working. Oh my gosh. Seriously? Big play. Cam's not going to touch anything. I'm sure it works. Yeah, I'll just do that. All right, we are ready to go. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how you can attract clients, joint venture partners, or even get the media using LinkedIn. LinkedIn has this connotation that it's just usually to get a job. And I'll tell you a story about how I was looking for a job and it just kind of turned into something else. But really, when you're in business, relationships are what really take your business to the next level. When you guys come to these events, you develop relationships that can be incredibly profitable for you. Likewise, on LinkedIn, you can develop relationships that can be really profitable for you as well, and you can be incredibly targeted as to who you need to get in your business and who you want to connect with right now to take you from where you are to where you want to be. So just a quick show of hands, how many of you here have a LinkedIn account? Awesome. How many of you guys are generating business with a LinkedIn account? Okay, so not as many hands go up. So great, you're in the right room. Because my goal with you today is to share with you how you can get a lot of business. So I know we've got a lot of people here in different areas of marketing. Who here does e-commerce? Okay, so a good amount of you. What about speaking, coaching, consulting? Kind of about the other half. And anyone just in B2B sales, whether it's software or anything like that? Okay, great, so we've got a good crowd in here. So, like I said, my goal is for you to get messages like this one. So LinkedIn is really, when you want to generate business from LinkedIn, it's really about connecting with the right people and also saying the right things in the right sequence. Because what you say and the way you say it can turn that relationship from going really well or to somebody being really mad at you because you even connected with them. If you see here, this person's like, hey, I like what you sent me, I want to talk to you about your services. So today I'm just going to be showing you just some of the messages that I get in my account. I also do this for other clients, but I'm not going to be sharing those messages with you for obvious reasons. Whoops. Okay, so we went back now. Sorry, I never use a Mac. I've been on PC my whole life, so I might mess up a little bit. There we go, I'm going forward. Okay. So today, what we're going to cover in part one is how to become an authority on LinkedIn and really stand out, because when you're trying to connect with people, everybody wants to do business with somebody that's successful and that looks like they've got a lot of great stuff going on. And you wouldn't believe how many times I'll meet really amazing people and they have all these accomplishments, and then I get to their LinkedIn profile and it's like 10 words. And I'm like, dude, I don't know that you do anything. Like, we need to fix this, because if somebody Googles you, your name comes up and your profile comes up, it doesn't show your greatness. So you want to work on that first. Second, I'm going to share with you a blueprint that we use. It's a system, it's a very systemized way of generating leads and getting appointments from LinkedIn. And last, I'm going to share with you how to outsource it all, because ultimately, you don't want to be the one in there doing all the work. It can add additional things to do in your day, and that's the last thing that we want. So really, if you're selling anything of value, this is going to show you how to sell more of it at a higher price and without a lot less work and struggle. And I know a lot of people here in the room are really great marketers and you're very advanced, but this is, honestly, if you can copy paste, and you can copy paste on LinkedIn and you'll be okay, then you can do this. It's not difficult at all. One interesting thing, so Inside View, which is a CRM research company, they noted that 47% of marketers, of companies, use that LinkedIn generates more business for B2B companies than Facebook, Twitter, or blogs, but only 47% of marketers are actively using LinkedIn versus 90% who are using Facebook. So what does that tell you? Well, for one, the market there is wide open. A lot of you guys here, you have LinkedIn accounts, but you're not doing anything. So if you're the one that's in the know and you know what to do, then you're getting ahead of the competition who has not yet figured it out or taken the time to. The challenge that I find with most businesses is when you don't know what to do, you decide to just not do anything at all. The problem with that is you can be leaving a ton of money on the table, and I'm going to share with you some case studies that will go through that where you'll see that. Additionally, it's not having systems, because sometimes you might get a lead from LinkedIn and you'll be like, okay, that was great, I had this connection, or I connected with this person and we talked and it was great, but it was kind of like a shot in the dark kind of thing. It's not systematic, you're not doing it every single day to get the business. So a little bit about my journey so that you know how this all came to be for me. Because of LinkedIn, I was able to get on Inc.com, Forbes, and Entrepreneur. And what I'm most proud of is the work that we do for our clients. For example, once we're able to dial a campaign in, on average they generate 6 figures just from LinkedIn. So if you have like high ticket coaching, that works really, really, really well with that. And also, the people that know me here, they know that I love to travel a lot. I've been gone the entire summer. So it's been really cool to be able to speak and travel the world doing that. So a little bit about my story. So I was born in San Jose, Costa Rica. So if I have a little bit of an accent, that is why. I came to the US when I was 8 years old. And when I lived in Costa Rica, I mean, we were incredibly poor. So coming here was really a huge opportunity. So we lived in Arizona for 7 years, and then after that, we actually moved here to Vegas. But when you think of Vegas, you think of that picture right there. It's like lights, glamour, action, all that great stuff. However, when I first moved here, we were living in the ghetto. So if you ever go right off the strip, there is a really bad area of town. That's where I lived. It was terrible. But I always knew, I was like, you know what? I don't want to live like this for the rest of my life. And I knew that the way to do that was to start my own business. So I learned marketing because I knew that if you know how to market, you can be in any business that you want to be in. That is the livelihood of any company because that pays for everything else you have to spend money on. But when I first started my business, I started doing SEO back in 2009. And in 2012, I left my job and started this company. So I was like, all right, I know how to rank websites. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be easy, it's gonna be great. So first 6 months in business, how many clients do you think I got? Anyone want to take a guess?
0.
0? God, you guys give me no credit. That's terrible. I had 1, okay? I was able to get 1. But I was also, at that point, I was living in LA, and LA is expensive, so that was not going to pay the bills. And you know what? It's not like I wasn't trying. I mean, I was working like 12 hours a day. I was cold calling, but you can only cold call so many times and have people tell you to buzz off and hang up on you before it actually kind of hurts your feelings. So I stopped that. Then I also went to a lot of business networking events. Now those are okay, and the 1 client I got actually came from that. However, the challenge with that is it's not super targeted. So you're limited by the people in the geographic area if you're going to like small business things. And also everyone there is also there to pitch their own services. So you're kind of like, I don't know, it was difficult to get anyone to do anything or to be able to afford the fees that I was charging for my SEO. And it wasn't even that much either. I didn't think so. But try direct mail. You have to have a good budget for that, and starting out, that was just not possible. If you don't know what you're doing, at best, 1 to 2% response rate. Craigslist, tried that for a little bit, and I got a bunch of cheapskates that just did not want to pay anything, so I was like, can't talk to these people anymore. And last, paid ads, now obviously that works, but again, you have to have a budget to be able to test, and if you don't have that when you're starting out, it can be really difficult, and you have to know what you're doing. So that didn't work out. So 6 months in, 1 client, money running out. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go get another marketing job. And so one of the sites that I was using to do that was LinkedIn. And I noticed, I'm like, man, like the people that I wish were talking to me about SEO, that are doctors and lawyers, that's what I was going after initially, they're all right here. They have profiles. So how do I get them to talk to me? And so at this point, I really had nothing to lose. I was applying for jobs. So I started reaching out to people and posting content and reading different blogs about LinkedIn marketing and stuff like that. And within 2 weeks, I got this client who is still with me today. And since then, I was like, wow, that was so much easier, faster, and cost-effective than anything I was doing at that point. So then I said, okay, well, how do I get guys like Dwight every single week? So then I really started to look at what worked, what didn't, how to message people, what to do on your profile, what people responded to, and that's how I came up with the system. So it doesn't just work for me though. It's all a matter of saying the right things in the right sequence to your target audience. So for example, this is a company that I'm working with, Genevieve. So their target audience is also doctors. But the challenge that they were having was they couldn't get enough appointments. So anybody here ever try to sell to like C-level executives or doctors or anybody like that? No? Okay, one person. Okay, so then you know that they're really difficult to get a hold of. So what we did is we connected them over a 5-month period with about 1,600 doctors on LinkedIn. And from that, we generated 89 sales appointments. And from that, they signed up 48 clients. Now, one client to them is worth 5 figures annually. So needless to say, that was a pretty profitable 5 months. Another case study, you guys might be familiar with this company, WBEX. They do a launch about twice a year. So for one of their launches, we did in just 35 days, it was a $1,000 coaching program, online program, and we generated almost $21,000 in business. Now Z, this is somebody who was starting out, did not have an email list really that much. She didn't have a funnel, she didn't have a sales system, she didn't have anything. So you can do this and not really have any of those things dialed in because LinkedIn is the funnel itself. She was able to get 3 group coaching clients, a new private client, generated about $11,000 in a 60-day period, and also got some speaking engagements out of that too. So, how do we do it? So it's really a 5-step process. So step number 1, you want to stand out as the authority. And I'm going to go into each one of these in more detail. Number 2, you really want to get clear as to who it is that you're trying to reach. Are you trying to reach the media, for example? Do you want publicity for your product or for your launch? Are you trying to find buyers for your products? Like people that say you have a physical product on Amazon or on Shopify and you want to try to get it in, I don't know, Walmart. Then when you figure that out, you gotta provide unique value to them, take the conversation offline, and then close the deal. So, these are the 5 steps that you need in order to get business from LinkedIn. So step number 1, out of everybody that's got profiles here, how many of you guys have it written like a resume? Everyone? No? Okay, well that's good. So here's the challenge with most people. So on LinkedIn, when you write a profile like a resume, you don't stand out. So the whole thing that you want to do is you want to stand out as the authority, but if you look like everybody else, obviously you're going to blend in like everybody else. So for example, here's a person, I don't know this person, I just found them on LinkedIn. And you'll see that if I'm a prospect and I'm looking for somebody to do my digital marketing or my SEO, she might be the best person on the planet for that, but I don't know that from reading her profile. I just know what she does, not if she's any good at what she does. If it just tells me like past work experience. Oops. So it's like, okay. However, if you change that around and you look at your profile as a sales letter, then your conversion rates and everything else that I'm about to talk about are going to be completely different. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the photo. Obviously, just have a professional headshot. I mean, don't have like a vacation photo, you and your significant other, none of that. Just you, professional. Then the next part is the headline. So on your headline, what most people do is they'll say, I am the CEO of this company. It's like, okay, well, if I don't know you and I come across your profile, it doesn't tell me why I should connect with you or why I should want to do business with you. So what do you want to do? Well, thinking about the target audience that you're looking to reach, what would pique their interest? You've got 124 characters to pique their interest right there. So for me, for example, I'm trying to get clients with LinkedIn. So what I talk about are the results that my clients get when they work with me. And when I do that, I get messages like that one. People are like, hey, I'm impressed. I want to talk to you about my marketing because it looks like you know what you're doing. And I didn't talk to this person, it was just the copy. Very important. So think about your results. Why is it that somebody's going to want to hire you? That's what you want to put there. You don't necessarily want to put all the companies that you work at. You can do that, but you want to talk about your results. Additionally, you want to work on getting social proof. Now, you can talk about all the great things that you do and all the great accomplishments that you've had on your profile, and you should, but it's always 1,000 times more powerful when somebody else vouches it for you. And these are real, because you can see they're real profiles. You can click on them. So, for example, whenever I'm in a sales situation and somebody asks me, well, can you show me any proof? Can you show me who this has worked for? Absolutely. Go look at my LinkedIn profile. Don't bother me with this. Don't bother my clients. Just go over there. And this also helps in subconsciously pre-selling your prospect into working with you. Because what's going to happen? Whenever somebody comes across your profile, let's say you reach out to somebody and they read about you, that's step one of subconsciously pre-selling them into what you do if you wrote your copyright. For example, this person here was like, hey, I like that you can do these things. I like that other people were happy. I want to work with you. That's basically what he said. So, after you've optimized your profile, you've got in mind who you want to target. Now we have to actually go out and reach out to them, because the notion that if you build it, they will come works a little bit, but it's not going to be consistent on LinkedIn. So using these filters is how we can hone in on exactly who we want to reach. So for example, let's say that I do marketing for dealerships, right? Well, I can go in here and type in marketing manager and just look at the results that I get. I got 761 results, and I've got the Chief Marketing Officer at Hyundai. Pretty big person right there. I've got the Ford VP of US Marketing, and I've got another marketing manager at a Volkswagen dealership. If I'm selling services at say $2,000 or $2,500 a month, I only need like 5 clients to make this a 6-figure search once you close the deal. Additionally, let's say that you sell e-commerce products. And like I said, I want to get my products into Walmart. I just type in buyer at Walmart, and look at all the results I get. Right there. For publicity, let's say that, and sorry because you can't see the titles because this is a different computer, but if I want a writer at Forbes, look at all the writers at Forbes that I get right there. Additionally, another cool thing you can do, I'm sure everybody here knows Ryan Dice, right? Of course. If you went up to Ryan and you're like, hey Ryan, can I get your email list? Do you think he's going to give it to you? No. However, and he might have changed it since I've been showing this thing, but anyways, when you're connected with somebody, let's say it's a thought leader or a competitor, you can click on their connections, and then let's say that CEOs that follow Ryan Dice would be a great target audience for me. I can put CEO, and then I get about 1,600 results. So I click on that, and now I can go ahead and connect with CEOs that like Ryan Dice. So I want to invite these people to connect with me, because when you're connected with somebody one-on-one, you can message them for free. If you guys are not connected one-on-one, you cannot message each other, and you have to use what's called in-mails. You gotta pay for them, and you only get 15 a month. So once you connect with somebody, you're completely bypassing their gatekeepers. This is why, for example, for Genevieve, when they couldn't get a doctor on the phone, it bypassed the security measures that these really busy people have so you don't get to them, because it's going right to their actual email. So, you connect with them, and this is when people say, I tried that LinkedIn thing, I sent some messages, it didn't work. Well, why didn't it work? Probably your strategy. This is what most people do. Anybody ever get messages like that? Where it's just like this huge long pitch, and you're like, don't block, right? So don't do this. The minute you do that, somebody's gonna actually get really angry, they might block you, they might mark you as spam. So what do? You wanna provide value first. On that first connection, it's just like dating. You're not gonna go out on a date and say, would you like to marry me tomorrow? The answer will be no, even if you guys have been awesome together. So same thing here. You wanna make sure that you show your expertise as a step 2 of subconsciously pre-selling the prospect. The first step was the profile. Now we've got either a video or a blog that showcases your expertise, also talks about your results or your product, whatever it is that you're trying to get. And you're not asking for anything, you're just giving. And then you want to ask at the end, hey, let me know what you think. That gets the conversation started. A lot of people will respond to that message, but a lot of people also won't. So what do? You message them again. And now, because you provided value, you word it right. It's like, hey, you know what? We've been connected here. We haven't really talked. I do this, you do that. I think there might be some synergies. Why don't we get on the phone and have a conversation? Now we have the meeting. So really what we do with LinkedIn leads is we put them into a drip messaging campaign within LinkedIn so that if they don't respond to message 2 or message 1, we also send a third one. And what happens when you say the right things in the right sequence, then people are like, yeah, of course, Monday works, let's talk. That's the difference versus if you just started pitching right away. Now, HubSpot did a study, and they noted that emails that are sent through LinkedIn are opened 7 times more than regular emails. That's huge. So that means that just by using the LinkedIn umbrella, you're 7 times more likely to have your message read than if you just found that person's email address on the website and emailed them. Now, additionally, you're gonna start getting a lot of leads, right? So what you wanna do is you wanna track your leads. So what we do, for example, is we put all the new connections into Excel, and then we write when they were sent what messages, and once they respond, we take them out of that sheet, put them into something else, so we know we have to follow up with that person in a more custom manner because they're interested. Now, another stat that HubSpot did is they saw that LinkedIn generated the highest visitor to lead conversion rate, which was 2.6%, which ended up being 4 times higher than Twitter and 7 times better than Facebook. Does anybody want to guess why that might be? Any guesses?
Higher quality.
I'm sorry, what?
Higher quality people.
Well, you're close. Yeah. They just make more money, and they're more educated. So when you're selling to somebody that has more money to spend, they're more likely to be able to spend it than somebody that's really tight on money. It's a bigger decision. So I always like to say that Facebook is really where the people that you know are, but LinkedIn's where the people that you should know are.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about some numbers, okay? So we've got our profile optimized. We are connecting with people. We're putting them into our reports. We're messaging them. So what does that look like as far as ROI? Well, let's say you send out 50 requests to connect per day. Very simple to do. And you also don't want to do too much activity, because if you do too much, LinkedIn will lock you out of your account. I've done it. So let's say you've got about a 40% acceptance rate, which is about where you want to be, about 30 to 40%. That's about 20 messages a day that you're sending out. So from that, about 10% are interested, so that's about 40 people that are like, okay, I'm interested. Usually you'll be able to get about half of those on the phone, so that would be about 20 appointments per month. So when you calculate, okay, so if I do this, what would that look like for me? Just think about if I have an extra 20 people that are targeted, exactly my target audience, they're interested, and I get these people on the phone, what does that look like for me? So if you just have a 10% conversion rate, that's 2 clients, 20, 4 clients, and then it goes up from there. So ideally, you're selling something that's a little bit more higher ticket, and if you're not looking to get clients, then you're looking for somebody that has a lot of clients. So like 1 or 2 or 3 good JVs could be a significant amount of revenue. Now, last part, you want to outsource this entire thing. So what we do is we have VAs basically doing all the work that you just saw. You only want to be getting involved when somebody has agreed to talk to you, and then you want to send them a time trade or a schedule one, so it's like an automated calendar, and then they just look right there so you don't waste a lot of time. So this is all stuff that you can give a VA. Just write your ad, interview 3, hire 1. This is our process. Then you just show them, like, this is who we need to target. Copy paste these messages when these people accept. Very simple, nothing technical here. You write the copy for them, you don't want them responding. Definitely don't want that. If they're like in the Philippines or something, American has to respond. Track the reports, track their hours, and that's it. It's very simple. It's just a matter of putting the system in place and being consistent with doing it Monday through Friday. That's where I see most people, they're like random about it. It's like, no, it has to be Monday through Friday, and then it's systematic. So, for example, Shane is a client of mine, and he has a marketing company doing SEO as well. And when he started out with this, 4 hours a day, cold calling. After doing this, he got enough clients to where that was $12,000 in recurring revenue. That's $144,000 a year. And what I like the most about what Shane did is the amount of time he was able to cut. Because money, obviously you can make more of that, but time, once that's gone, that is it. It's gone. So when I added that up, 4 hours a day of not cold calling turns out to be about a month in a year. It's a lot of time saved, not getting hung up on. So, just a recap of what we covered today. So, the system, basically, optimize your profile, be very targeted on your audience, write your messages. That's what we went over. Stand out from the competition, and then outsource the whole thing to a VA, because you don't want to be doing any of that. It's very simple work. It's copy paste, but it works really well if you say the right things in the right sequence. So, a question that I get a lot, and even after I go through different examples of how this could work for different types of businesses is, well, I have this product or I have this service. How can I leverage LinkedIn the best for my particular area? And I'm happy to answer that question with each one of you separately if that's something that you're thinking right now, because that's really the biggest one that I see the majority of the time. So what we've done is my team and I have set aside next week, or if you want to just, I'll be around here all weekend if you want to talk to me during the event, and we can sit down and talk about, okay, what kind of product do you have? What does the leads for that look like on LinkedIn? And what would be your potential ROI? Doesn't cost you anything, and if you can't do it during the event, we can do it sometime this week. I just want to talk to people that are really serious though about their business and about implementing. Because if I give you the whole strategy and you sit on it, that wasted my time. And that's going to piss me off. So don't do it. There are some strategy session sheets on your tables. If you don't have one, Greg, you're back there. Yeah, if anyone needs one, just give it to Greg or just hand them out to him after you fill it out. And I'm happy to talk with you. At the end, if you want me to do it for you, I can. If not, at least you know what to do, and you can have your VA do it all. So that's it.
Do we have any questions?
Anybody else need one of these? I'm a managed VA, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last guy that you mentioned, he went and generated 12K sales within 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
Of that, how much was spent on VAs?
So the VA, you'll typically pay them around $3 an hour, and they'll work about 2 hours a day.
Okay, so nowhere near 12K.
Yeah. And then you just got to factor in, what kind of time you spend talking to your leads. I don't know exactly what that was. But then you can outsource that too if you have a really good sales guy. So.
And would you be able to help as well with the discussion that you have with the leads as well? So making sure that the conversion rate of the number of conversations you have to the number of sales you get will increase as well.
So that's why we do everything with reports. I have my VAs create 2 different reports. So one is the campaign overview. So in there they'll say, okay, we reached out to this many people, and then we sent out this many message ones. So I know from how many message ones we sent what the acceptance rate is from the response. So if that's not between 30 to 40, I know that area needs to be optimized. And then we keep track of how many amounts of other messages were sent. And so from that I can see, okay, well, no one's responding to this message, or they really like this one, and then I know which message we have to go back and tweak. So sometimes a campaign will work really well right off the bat. Other times you have to go and change the copy because it really is saying it the right way in the right sequence. To the right audience. Sometimes you gotta change the audience too. So it just depends.
Any more questions, guys? I just had a question. So,
Sure.
I think Nelson kind of touched on it, but the only investment kind of in this system then is time, right? There isn't paid ads, there's nothing that runs to it.
As far as money, yeah, it's just the VA and then LinkedIn's premium account. We're gonna need that. It's $60 a month.
Okay.
Just to be able to do more searches.
And there isn't, I'm not trying to take away anything from the VAs, but there is no kind of automated, like an autoresponder for LinkedIn.
There are, and I've tested several, and I've always found that when we do it manually, we just get better results. It takes more time, but a lot of times like a manual software won't get like the right targeting, because my VAs, they'll look at the profile, does that look like somebody the client wants to talk to, kind of thing. So that makes a big difference.
Right.
I noticed in one of the slides when you were contacting people in LinkedIn, it has, do you know this person, I don't know this person, all that. And I saw that you had the I don't know this person. So how do you handle that? Because I always am conscious of that, like, oh, I don't know this person, I guess I'm not supposed to contact them.
So the way that we do it is we just switch between friend and we've done business together, on and off.
Yeah, okay.
If you say I don't know, they're gonna ask you for their email.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I should probably change that. Any other questions?
No. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I'd like to give a massive round of applause for our head of the course. Thank you so much.